Okay, so the next thing we want to do is add a QR code capability. Why? Because others have it and it's easy to do, so might as well give it to as one of our offerings. So I'm going to put it right here, a little button. Let's do that. I chose CodeBoxx. They have a nice free QR code by PHP. I already did the composer require Android and pulled it down. And then what I did was I created a quick test page. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a, let's do it like this. Make this an M1. And we're going to keep it at S12. I have a function in Wizards Toolkit called Modal Export, which opens up a modal in MaterializeCSS. So let's call this make QR code. It adds the PHP and view. The second parameter isn't really important for this particular case. And here we're going to pass in the ID. See, what are we using for the ID? This one. All right. Create QR code. And then we'll make this 5. So the total's up to 12. Okay, now we have our create button. Let's make it purple. Now let's make the page that it's going to go to. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as these all go in the subfolder because we don't want anything really important in the root folder, because this is a shortened URL director, and if I deploy this on a server where the root is using the slugs to determine what to show, we obviously don't want to have important pages on there. Security level 5 is going to be what the basic users are. Those that are creating short links. I like to stay consistent. The syntax, there we go. All right, we're going to start with this and then we're going to modify it. But first, let's just verify this works. So this is causing a problem, but I have a feeling it might be a modal issue with MaterializeCSS, because if I change the make QR code to just show this, and then I refresh it, it actually works. Notice I can put in super test, refresh, and it updates the QR code. So this is definitely working. So now let's change this. So instead of doing a modal export, we'll make it actually be like this. There we go. Let's close this. That opens up a new one, passes the proper ID, generates that. Then people can right click and say save image, and they have their QR code. Easy peasy. So now we need to actually look up the link information. So here's how we do that. I'm going to first pull this from here, and this basically calls the quick step library. Don't need that. I'm going to set the security level to 5 because that's what everybody's going to have when they're a user of the short links. And now we need to get one piece of data, WZ short links or short URL. There we go. We'll say take this from the Glow ID, GP for get param ID. All right, and we're going to want to pull this from the link hash. All right. PV. Alright, so that should grab that. Now let's get a actual URL. See, pg go to equals. That's the URL of the server. And that way it will work on my local host, and then later we'll work on the actual live server. And then we're going to go like this. Looky there, localhost. Now I need to add this. There we go. Now it looks good. That will be the short URL or the slug that then looks up their go-to or where they're supposed to be redirected and does that. Alright, so now if I do like this, we should end up with a QR code, and if we go here, it will pull in the QR code, and if I go over here and we pull up a different one like video editing services, which has a short link or a slug, a video service, and we see that looks different than the other one. Subscribe for more on the business of programming.